Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the bizarre magic of Brian Brushwood.
So, here's the thing. Let me ask you guys. Make some noise if you personally believe in ESP and mind reading. Make some noise. All right. Make some noise if you don't believe in ESP. Now fight. No, I'm actually part of the skeptic lot myself. But when people ask me all the time whether or not I believe in ESP, it always makes me smile because I think back to when I was a kid, where I wanted more than anything on planet Earth, not only to believe that ESP was real, that I had psychic powers, so I'd make up all these tests to see if I had ESP. You know the kind of thing I'm talking about, like you're sitting at the kitchen table trying to guess the next card in a deck of cards. And in the middle of doing all these tests, I had this experience I want to try to recreate for you. And while this experience didn't convince me that ESP was real, it did convince me that sometimes you just get lucky. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for the daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad, mad. Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me, no one knew me. Hello teacher, tell me what's my lesson. Look right through me, look right through me. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very
Well, needless to say, I've since honed my skills of ESP and I've since become the world's foremost mind reader. Try to contain your excitement. Now, I wouldn't ask you to accept that just on faith, so instead, we'll have a demonstration of my awesome, super colossal powers. And for this, I need somebody who does a whole lot of reading. You know, that reads a whole bunch of books. And Nerdtacular, 3 freaking hands. Screw you guys. You do a lot of reading? What do you like to read? Fiction, that is a very narrow subject. True stuff, screw you. I like made up stuff. All right, now I might want to use you, but I got to make sure we're on the same psychic wavelength. Stand up, you don't have to go anywhere. Nice and loud so the entire freaking room can hear. What is your name?
David.
David. That is correct. Don't applaud for that. You usually get more of that behavior. David, I want you to think. I think we can agree there are a lot of words in the English language. And even the most conservative estimates say there are about 500,000 words. If you picked a word and I predicted that exact word, we'd have something just short of a miracle, right? I want you to think of any word in the English language. You got one? Excellent. David, before the show even started, I wrote on the back of this card in a Comic Sans font just to annoy you. My prediction. Just to clear things up, do you happen to know what I've written on the back of this card, David?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, no. Correctly. I don't want to to have some cool experiments. Come on up here, let's make some noise for David. Have a seat right here if you would, David. I'm going to go ahead and set you up with the microphone. Here's the problem, David, is if we were really doing an ESP experiment, it turns out that there's only 100, maybe 150 words in the English language. Boy, that does not want to stay on there. Just keep on. Oh, wet. Yes. It turns out that there's only about 150 words that you're most likely to come up with on the spot. So I figure something a little more fair would be a pick from 100,000 possible words. And using that, I thought I'd start with 3 books everybody's heard of and read. First off, some people like scary books, so I got Stephen King's The Shining. David, have you read it?
No.
Did you see the movie?
Yes.
But, close enough. Some people like mysteries, so I got The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. David, have you read it?
No.
Did you see the movie?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Lastly, some people like, fantasy, so I got my favorite Harry Potter book, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. David? Yes, of course. Which of these 3... Wait, so just to be clear, the scary book not so much, the mystery not so much, but the children's book, right. That's good, it counts. Which of these 3 books do you want to use for our experiment?
Harry Potter.
All right, now I am going to give you the chance once and only once to change your mind and go with either of the other 2 books. Do you want to change your mind?
No.
Because it's the only chance you get.
No, this is fine.
Because tonight when you go to bed, I want you to be like, hey, damn it, just give me another chance. This is your only chance.
No, good.
All right, do me a favor. Ripple through the pages of that book. Stop on any page you want out of the entire book. Once you found a page you like, let me know, but don't say which page it is. You got one?
Don't say?
Yes, please don't.
Okay.
You got one?
Okay, got one.
Excellent. Now, David, I want you to let your eyes dance up and down that page till they land on a big, fat, gigantic $3 word. Not a character name or a chapter heading. Those would be too easy to figure out. I want a big, meaty word that's going to stick in your mind. You got one?
Yep.
Excellent. Remember that word, close the book. Now what we've done is about the fairest way I can think of to pick a word. 100,000 possible words. You pick the book, you pick the page, you pick the word. I'm going to try to figure out your word. And to help me out, I want you to focus on the first letter of this word. And I want you to think of an animal that begins with the same letter as this word. You got one?
Go.
What?
Yes.
Okay, because you did this and I was confused. All right, focus on that animal. Project it over here. Good. Good. Got it. Got it. Got it. For the first time, David, what animal are you thinking of?
Ferret.
A ferret? Correctly. Let's go back to the Beastmaster. It's not about the animal, it's about the word. I'm going to see if I can salvage something out of this. All right, I am totally committed at this point. There's no way I could change my mind once and for all, David. What word were you thinking of?
Flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted? That's the exact word that popped into my mind as well. Let's have a huge round of applause for David. You did a fantastic job. That is yours to take care of you. Get on out there.